I've never logged in from my phone. I've never logged in from my phone.
Can you guys hear her?
I can hear all of you.
Oh.
I heard her say, I've never logged into my phone. Can you send her a link to her phone real quickly?
We can see. I can see your face.
I think I'm on. Can you hear me?
You are on. Turn your phone sideways.
I'm gonna get my. I'm gonna get on the stand to put it on.
Yes.
My gimbal. That's what they're called.
Right. That one. He's enough cool enough outside of that one.
Is the sound better?
Yeah. I don't know.
Hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you. I just see Sharon and Monique and myself. But Sharon,
and that's funny. I can see you and Monique.
I hear you just fine. You sound way better. Sharon says she can see you. Maybe it's I just can't because you went out when you went on the slide next to you. So. Yeah, on my computer.
Okay.
But Sharon says she can see you, so
that's good. Wait, do we still have almost 5 minutes? Did it?
No, like a minute and 7. Yeah, we got over a minute, so we're doing good.
Did we lose Sharon?
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Apparently we got some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think you got some bad weather there, huh, Sharon?
Yes, I do. But let me get everybody back on and we can start. There we are. Hi. Welcome back to Wholesale Hotties, a place where ladies are talking about real estate. Ladies in real estate talking about real estate. I'm your host and MC, Sharon-Lee Smith. We got Donda Molinex, Monique Bell, and Kate Gomes joining us from the RV.
Oh,
What
hey!
in the world?
Going live again. What's that? That's funny. We're definitely haven't seen people. Hang on there.
I don't know how that even started.
I don't either.
My thing is all messed up. This is.
I don't know.
Are we live or are we?
I was. That's so weird. Okay, well, that's okay. We're back. We're back. Well, hi, ladies. How are
Don't
you?
blame it on me.
I'm just totally blaming you. We love you. How are you ladies doing? What are we doing? And what are we doing this week? How are we? Where are you, Kate?
I know. She's our little nomad. We never know where she's at.
Oh my God.
Kate going?
I had the best week. I went down to Fort Lauderdale for a meetup that Julie Collette put on, and Pace went to, and made some new friends there, and then headed down to the Keys.
That's
Florida
right.
Keys. So
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. I'm jealous because it is 18 degrees outside and 6 inches of snow, and I hate it, and I want to be with you.
Oh my God, it was so beautiful down there. Mid 70s, clear water to swim in. Did some snorkeling. Lots of key lime pie.
Key lime pie is so good down there. Yeah,
it is the best.
The conch
right? It's so fresh.
Yeah.
What kind of fritters?
Yeah.
What?
Conch fritters. Everybody has their like special sauces.
Nice.
They make them. Jim and I just like everywhere we went, we'd get a piece of key lime pie and conch fritters. Like, ooh, I like this place better. Ooh, I like their key lime. You know, we kind of rated the places we went to and stuff. It was fun.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Did you get to go to that Blue Heaven while you were down there?
I didn't. No, I didn't make it there. Yeah, I don't even remember the names of the places that we went to, but I did have the best key lime pie I've ever had. So.
That's good.
But yeah, I'm back up in West Palm now. Last night I spent the night at a it was in a town called Homestead. A Cracker Barrel parking lot in Homestead.
Nice.
Not quite as glamorous as the Keys, but it was nice. And I'm back in West Palm now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what's going on in your world with your real estate businesses?
For me? Oh,
for everybody.
It's been a little crazy. So it's been a little crazy lately. I just got a hotel under contract, and then we were able to find a buyer pretty quickly.
Oh, congratulations! Yeah.
They want to watch it today. They are probably looking for to get a retrade, so we'll see how that goes. But that's okay. One step at a time. So we'll go from there. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
That is so fun, Sharon, that you did that.
She's a
lifesaver. Is that your first hotel?
I'm sorry?
Is that your first hotel?
It's the first one that I've done where we went all the way through. Like we actually got it assigned. I've had a couple other ones that people have brought me, and there were just different hiccups before I could even get it out the door. You know, like whether it was getting the ACK person to understand the numbers in the negotiation and where he needed to be at, or it was overstated the relationship. So there was one that came to me and I'm buddies with the owner and he's gonna sell and and that wasn't at all the case. And by the time we actually had a conversation with the owner's like, I'm not selling. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And so there's been a few similar types of things. There was one that I had under contract locally in Virginia, and it was just in this the town that it's in is really weird with the way they do their utilities and stuff. And so the town is what made it a deal killer. And the owner was really upset because he's the one, he's sick of the town, dealing with the town. And so it was a problem. We couldn't help the guy at the end of the day, but so this is the first one that I will actually complete the transaction and get it sold and done. So
This is the one in Kingman, right? With David or with Michael? With Mike?
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Is this the one that you sent, Donda? That
I did. I couldn't find it,
Yeah.
and Sharon saved this guy. I mean, he had been working 3 to 4 months on it, right, Sharon? And then he's like, his person just dropped off the face of the earth the day of they were supposed to, and Sharon just came in, and she was Wonder Woman, Superwoman. She just came in. So great for that too. He's like, it's going to be life-changing for their family when he was texting, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I don't know if he told you how much he appreciates what you done, Sharon, because he was telling me that, and that he's like, it's going to be a life changer for my family. I just appreciate it so much, this community that we're in. So, yeah, that's great.
Awesome. That's good to hear. No, he hasn't really said anything like that to me, but that's okay because we're just busy talking about the deal. So I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. We just have,
It just goes to show that collaboration matters and it's important, and none of us are gifted 100% in every single area that is needed, and just having the different talents and the different folks that we can reach out to help when you're struggling with something, it just makes such a difference. Not feeling like
Did I show you ladies the deal sheet that I put together for it?
No, share that. We'd love to see it.
Okay. You ready? I'm going to actually, I'll pull it up. I'll see about being able to share it on the screen here. Hold on.
I don't think I'll be able to see. I don't know what's going on with my screen, but I can't see it. But yeah, I wanted to say it goes to show like what Monique was saying to networking and the community and not doing everything, but also just getting out there and doing it. Because Sharon, if you hadn't have had those other ones that you had have tried to do, maybe you wouldn't have been prepared to just take the wheel on this one and get it done.
That's so true.
Oh, for sure.
Great point. Yeah. That's all it was training for this amazing deal she was able to rescue. I mean, it was like the day he's like, he drove up from Kingman to Phoenix, and he reached out to me, and then we went and met and talked for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, let me think of who I can send this to that might be able to help you. And I'm like, oh,
there you go.
no, a disco queen who's amazing.
Yeah.
And Sharon,
not disco queen, dispo queen.
Yeah, disco, not disco. Yeah, disco.
Although maybe Sharon's disco queen too. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty, clumsy when it comes to anything like that. Can you see my screen?
No, I don't see your face, but not your screen, not the. Didn't share.
Yeah, I know Sharon came in and put a website together and all of the logistics behind the hotel.
Yeah,
but that really well.
Pretty cool.
I love
it's a very
summary. Yeah,
very detailed presentation. Yeah.
Thank you. I can't figure out how to share it, but that's okay. Oh, wait, maybe that's how.
But yeah, knowing that you had done these other hotel deals that didn't go through, it just reminds me of times when I've been working on something and feel like I've wasted all of this time and it was for nothing. But then something like this comes along and it was all for something.
Good point, Kate.
It is a great point.
That's
just don't give up. It's just, you didn't give up. And I don't think Sharon would ever be a quitter. I think you're definitely a fighter. This is so cute, and it's on Route 66, right?
It's on Route 66 in the longest stretch of preserved historic highway. And I think the best part about this deal is there is so many grants available for the rehab, for restoration of this property.
Wow.
So I even touch on that in this presentation. A little bit farther down, I go over the competition and where how they can improve this, the renovations that they can do to it, and then down, why it's a good deal. But wait, it gets better. And then there's all these grant programs.
So are they
available.
state grants or federal?
State and federal grants for restoration of Route 66, historic Route 66, businesses and that type of thing. And so, like, the property itself fits into all of the protocols for these grants, and that's just the ones that I found quickly just Googling. And so I reached out to Luz, Luz Ramirez. I'm not sure last name.
Yep.
And I'm like, he's a grant writer in the community. And I'm like, hey, if I can find a buyer, can I connect them with you for grant writing so they can, work with you to fund this deal? And she's like, absolutely. So she gave me all her contact information to pass along to the buyer as well. So again, right, we've got the acquisition person, newbie wholesaler getting in the game. We got Donda connected me and him, and got me. I actually found the buyer through one of my wholesaler buddies in Astro Flipping, who's in that market. And so that guy's getting paid on the deal. And then Luz will get, income from doing grant funding, and helping that. So like this is the power of the community, of having a community, and it's really the real estate community as a whole, not just Sub 2 or Owners Club or Astro, because I find the same type of community in like Dealmaker and some of these other ones that I'm a part of, Sweetheart Mastermind, that's the ladies mastermind group, and some of these other ones that I'm a part of. And
oh my gosh, how many are you a part of, Sharon?
I'm in 12 different communities.
Oh my gosh.
I love that though, because look how all these different ones, like the Sub 2, the Astro, the other ones you're talking about, it's just like,
I have 4 other buyers that are not in Sub 2 that are looking at this hotel as backup buyers right now.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. How long did it take you to find a buyer? Like an hour? Because I feel like it was just 2 days ago that you were getting the presentation ready.
Literally. So I sent you guys the link to kind of proofread for me. You guys sent some feedback. I did some tweaking. I sent it out probably an hour later to the people in Astro. I like to give them a little bit of a heads up. And so I sent it to them. And then about an hour later, I sent it out to a bunch of my buyers that I knew were buying hotels nationwide. And then to other groups, that I knew. And Matt Justice is the kid that brought the other buyer to me. And he had it sold probably within 3 hours from me getting it to him.
Wow.
Is that through Astro then?
Isn't that crazy? That's just,
What'd you say, Minnie?
Was that through Astro? Was it Matt through Astro that you're?
Yeah, Matt Justice is one of the top Astro kids.
Yeah,
I say kid because I think he's 22.
Crazy.
He's a kid. My daughter's the same age.
He's a kid. Yeah.
But he's amazing. He's really amazing. Yeah. You should check him out. Matt Justice is on YouTube. He's on Facebook and all the socials and whatever. And
I've heard Janelle talk about him too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
super grateful for him. I do have some backups in the works as well, but I'm so excited about it. So that's what's going on in my world. Like, I'm super focused on that. I have 5 or 6 other, like, single family homes, small deals in the works as well. But like the hotel is like so cool. I'm so excited about it. So
yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
That's
what's going on in your world, girls?
Well, we made a Sub 2 offer on a property that I think the seller countered back. They definitely want to sell it to us here in the Phoenix area. It's actually North Phoenix area. And and then we just wrote up an offer and countered back a little bit of changes, but I think we're going to lock up our second sub-2 property.
Ah,
Nice.
congratulations. Is
Yeah.
that for a long-term rental or?
Yeah, well, actually, we're going to go stay in it for a year and then convert it over to rental. It's up there by that TSMC. It's a $84 billion project that's just getting started. It's about another 15 to 20 years on it, and they're bringing in a bunch of new employees to start working. So we might even just test and rent out rent rooms and see how that goes. And then we're looking to get a couple other sub-2 ones up there. We're working with Jen and Badass Boss on a bunch of sub-2 deals up in that area.
And where did you say it is?
Up in North Phoenix. It's called TSMC. It's a big chip manufacturer that's basically putting Intel out of business. Yeah.
Oh.
Sell your stocks now, huh?
Yeah. Heads up on
Time to
Intel.
get the inside scoop. All right.
Yeah. It's a big project, Jim's. It was
Not Martha Stewart, though.
Yeah. So he's up for a lot. So we're like, well, why don't we just go up there and we'll stay there for a little bit and maybe rent out a room. We're just gonna market to them and see how much housing need there's going to be, because there's supposed to be like 15,000 employees coming in the next few months.
Wow.
So
That's
Good find.
yeah, we're going to do
That's
lots of but to get more deals and even lease options just to put people in them,
Oh, yeah.
that people can't rent out or something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what our world's going
Even
on.
if you could do like what's her name that we just had on? Christina Stevens and arbitrage, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not a bad
People
idea.
that are sitting there in the market trying to rent it and it's not moving. It's like, hey, let us come in and do this. and
Right.
see.
Offer. Exactly.
Yeah.
Rental. Mm-hmm.
And what
Yeah.
will you do with your house that you're in right now?
Oh, this one we've been renting. Everything we've been
Oh.
buying, we're like those homeless landlords, we're
Yeah. Aren't we all, Donda? We're the homeless landlords. I love it.
we were on the road a lot there for a while, but yeah, we rented this place for a year and it's just coming due. I'm like, well, maybe we'll just go there and start working in another area, the Phoenix area. So, but yeah, it's been fun.
Homeless landlords.
Oh, and
It's
Oh my
real.
god! So how many rentals do you have right now, Donda?
we've got 2 long-term up in Washington State, and then we've got a short-term / midterm. We have like December through May. We rent it to traveling nurses over in Bullhead City, Arizona, by the Colorado River. And then in the summer
Be right by Kingman?
right by what? Oh yeah, right by Kingman. Yeah, not far from Kingman at all. And then we it's by the Colorado River, about 700 feet from the boat launch. So in the summer it's busy all the time because people come in. There's a casino across the river, Laughlin, Nevada, there. So there's a lot that goes on, and people come from. We get a lot of people from California, Las Vegas, and other areas that like to stay there and play and have long weekends, or they're there for ball tournaments or whatever. So
Nice.
So we switched it to short-term rental during the summer because we wanted to use it ourselves, but we found out that it's usually booked. So we either stay in a hotel. We have a friend, $1 million house not far from there on the river, and she always like, hey, if you guys need a place to stay, if I'm there, she has a room for us, so we can always crash at her place. So yeah, unless her son's using it, but typically we stay there because it's free place to stay, and ours is making money. So why, I'm not gonna
Exactly. Why mess with a good thing?
Yeah, or go stay at the hotels over across the way because our friends there also get us free rooms. So we pay like $16 for a weekend. So it's like, I'm not giving up $500, $600, $800 to.
No.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's it. And then we got a sub-2 deal when we moved here. That is a lease option that makes us about $850 a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
No.
Monique, you have rentals too, right? You do sober living?
Yeah.
I have several properties that are rentals and then a clean and sober property. It's kind of interesting to see right now the market for the rentals is really changing. No,
Is that
I
in
mean,
Seattle area only?
yeah, Seattle. Yeah, I've done other areas. Seattle, I'm familiar. It's easy, simple, so I kind of like to stay close by.
Yeah.
But the rental market is just expanding, I guess I should say. All the co-living is coming in, but right now the landlords just can kind of just like finally, see a reprieve from times when we've had a tough time getting renters in and stuff like that. So now it's pretty proliferate with you can just whenever you have an empty house, people are coming to me. Do you have a house? Do you have a constantly? They can't find anything. It's really sad. So the
What do
rental,
you think has changed?
well, there's a more need for housing. Definitely.
Just more an influx of people in the Seattle area and not
Well,
enough new
I think
building, or
I think it's all over. I think there's just not enough building going on everywhere.
not in
Although,
Florida?
also, you don't have that going on in Florida?
I don't think so. No, at least not in the areas I'm in. I
So
wouldn't
do
say
you
there's a
find the
housing.
houses staying empty then?
What's that?
You're finding the rental houses are staying empty?
It can take a couple months to find a tenant sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got a
Yeah, there's
line.
not a line of tenants
There's a line of tenants around
waiting.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they did I know they were hiding or they weren't allowing banks to really foreclose on a lot of these people for the last several years. And now they're actually lifting that ban, because they had that COVID thing and all this type of stuff. So a lot of foreclosures are going to start happening more, and you'll probably see more people moving out and looking for a place to rent before they do get foreclosed on. So maybe that's why you're seeing it more, Monique, over there.
Well, and I think that the whole entire world just kind of changed in the sense that people aren't buying houses like they used to. And
Right. That's
the kids
true
aren't
too.
being taught, that's the American dream to buy your own house. They're saying go rent. I don't necessarily agree with that technology, but I mean it's okay for short term or something. But you're giving your money to somebody else, but that's okay too if that's the way they want to live or feel. And we're getting into a place where they're building store they're building stores on top of places to live. And
Yeah.
so she's just having at it. She wants me to pet her.
Mama, pet me.
They're building stores and building like little towns inside of malls and stuff so that people can just be upstairs in their apartment eating, drinking, whatever. They go downstairs and they go shopping. They can get whatever food they want. They can get everything taken care of. We're going to eventually go to oh, I don't own a car. I just jump in, the electric car that I rent to come get me type of thing. So I think that we're seeing
yeah, in December I stayed in a little Airbnb in DC, in downtown DC, or just outside of DC, and that's exactly what it was. It was like a high-rise apartment building, and so one of the apartments was the Airbnb, but the first 2 floors was stores and restaurants and everything. You didn't have to leave the building. It was a mini city.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Are they converting old buildings to do that, or are you talking just about new ones?
I think it's a combination.
Yeah, probably a combination. The one I was staying in looks like a new construction, but I've seen and I saw driving by in when I was around the town other areas that looked like old malls that were converted into that type of a situation where the top 2 floors were housing, and then the first floor was a 2-story Whole Foods. Biggest Whole Foods I ever did see in my whole life. It was huge.
It's a 2-story one, I bet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that the younger generation, they are being taught and learning that this is the new way. And guess what? I don't have to mow a lawn. I don't have to call to get a refrigerator fixed. I don't have to know how to do that stuff. It just automatically comes to me, and anything is convenient and easy. That's the way that they're learning and they're being taught and they're becoming a part of. It's just it's a whole new way of living, I guess, for some people.
Which is good for us, right? If we're going to buy properties and rent them out, and so that's a promising thing for investors.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And you guys are right too. I think Monique made a point that, they can't afford, they have a budget, they're limited, especially if they come out of college and they have all this student debt and all these different things going on in life. credit card debt and all this. And then they're like, let me see, to buy a house, it's going to cost me that much a month. Well, I can rent for cheaper.
Yep.
So then they're like, I'll save up and eventually buy if that's, but right now with the interest rates still high, a lot of people aren't able to afford to buy a home.
Yep.
And it's also, they don't know what we know, Donda, Sharon, Kate. They don't know you can buy a house without having to put 20% down. There are ways around that, but they don't know that. And they don't know how to get the less
and even
interest.
if you try and introduce them to that concept, it's scary, right? And so they back off. I have a friend right now who's in a situation where her and her husband are living at his parents' house, and all of her kids are at her ex-husband's house, which she's the one that's supposed to have the kids, but he's watching them for now because they don't have anywhere to live. They can't find a rental, and they can't get a mortgage because of the rates and like their income and whatever the debt to income. And so I try and explain to her about seller financing or and it's I don't know about that, what I mean? And I understand the fear with and that's I think one of the important things for us as being out there in this space is to educate, right, and teach these concepts to these people, so they can understand, hey, there's so many more options than just what your retail mortgage broker is telling you.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
but
so true.
I think that but I think that also doesn't work in every market. Like there's some markets where houses are just expensive and they sell fast, and owners are not seller financing and they're not doing sub 2 because there's not a need for it. That's where I used to do real estate in California. That's just how it was. And people also couldn't do loans often with only 3% down, because then they're paying mortgage interest, and with interest rates their payment was so high that it's just too much. So they would either live with family or rent. But then there's definitely markets that works in, and I think that's why there's been a big shift over the last 5 years of people moving into different cities, cheaper cities.
Agreed.
True.
Agreed.
Yeah, very good point.
I think you're definitely right in some ways, but there's always going to be that one person here and there or something that's going to, they didn't take care of the house. They aren't going to be able to fix it. So it's, the value has gone down, and most people who are buying a house aren't prepared to buy a fixer upper and fix it up.
Right.
It's so true.
We have a very special knowledge, being able to do that and know what to do to fix a property and to make it valuable again, and how to do that.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you think some people would just naturally know that, but they don't.
No.
Yeah. That's true. If I think about it, I think about things that like I fix myself, like and it seems so easy to me to do, and people are like, "Oh, you do plumbing?" Well, yeah, it's just running pipes. What do you mean I do plumbing? It's so easy.
It's not rocket science.
Like, no, it's not. No, it's really. It's like, I don't know.
A plus B equals C.
Exactly. I don't know.
And now with YouTube,
not everybody's mechanical that way.
But with YouTube, you can do so much.
Mechanically inclined, or they just don't. It's a fear, right? I don't know that, and so you don't even want to try. But really, it's a very, very simple thing to do. A lot of it is. So, but you're absolutely right. That knowledge of fixing things isn't everybody.
Yeah, the younger generation. Now I'm aging myself, sounding old. The younger generation, they don't want to deal with it as much. I think one of you said that
old,
earlier.
Right? You're the youngest.
I love it.
I was at a.
Go ahead.
What's that? This is not not real estate related, but on similar subject. I was at a farm store today, a country farm store that grows tropical fruit, and the cashiers there, they added up my tab with a pen and a paper bag. He wrote it all down and added it up, added it twice to make sure he was right. And that's just how they do it there.
That's
Oh, I love that. That's old school. That's old school.
yeah.
I love it, but
Yeah.
kids today wouldn't know how to count back change, right? You know,
Right. Well, he was pretty young, and the owner of this farm place has had it for many, 20, 30 years or longer,
And he
and
taught
he
him.
won't hire people unless they know how.
That's awesome. That's good.
That is
You
good.
don't see it that often, but yeah, it's good. It's good to know the basics of life.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of like cursive.
Yeah.
True.
They're actually looking for people to hire to decipher cursive from some sort of older
Oh my God.
documents because people aren't being taught
Yeah.
cursive anymore.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
It's like hieroglyphics.
It will be one day. Oh no.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Real.
Well, back to real estate. So Monique, you have some rentals and you do sober living. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, so I have a property that's a clean and sober house, and it started out because I had a family member who was struggling in life and had lost his son and just tanked in life and got himself back together and had a property that was pretty large property. And he said, let's turn it into a clean and sober place, and let's help these people, because when he was coming out of the place where he was at, he had to stay way longer because nobody would accept him to rent anything. They wouldn't allow him to. He couldn't qualify for anything, even in the low income places. So it became impossible. He ended up on my couch after he finally said, I got to get out of this place. So we end up there, and he's like, let's turn this into a clean and sober place where people have a place to go. Because at that point, it just was too large, and it was hard. I was having a tough time finding. Like, it was almost like co-living wasn't a thing back then, so it was hard to find people to live. So we did that, and it's just, we have a super great manager. He's amazing, and he takes care of all the logistics. He has weekly meetings for the guys. He has it's a house meeting, and then he also has everything put together for them to be able to have their AA meetings, go to church. He also works at the food bank, so he brings food all the time back. So if somebody's struggling, they have food all the time in the house, and puts together different places in the community that will actually help them get started in paying their rent the first month or two. And then we're signed on with DOC, which is Department of Corrections, where when they have somebody coming out of jail or the prison, they will call us. They'll explain to us, hey, this is the situation with this person. They're looking for a place to stay in Auburn. We're very, very, very adamant about making sure that the people are serious about getting a second chance in their life. We're not looking to put people there just to have a body in a bed. We'll even go without, rather than having somebody that's going to use or drink or something like that, because it's really
So
important.
do you actually have a conversation with them yourself?
I do sometimes. The manager does most of it, but I used to do a lot of the conversations with DOC, and the guys, I would interview every one of them before we brought them in. I don't have to so much anymore. Him and I have kind of just synergistically worked together now, to the point where he runs most of that now. And I don't
The manager of your house, or the manager of what did you call it, the DOC?
Manager of my house takes care. He talks to DOC now most of the time. I used to talk to him a lot, but he just does all of it now.
And does your manager live there as well?
He does. We give him free rent. He lives in the building. I've had it where I didn't have anybody living in the building. I feel like having somebody there is much more important, because then they can keep an eye on things a little bit closer. And when you're coming in there once every day or once every other day, it's just too easy for things to sneak by.
Yeah. I think that's
It's
great.
a better house, so
Yeah.
So how many rooms are?
He'll be able to sense if there is issues with somebody. I mean, because he's been through it himself, and he's like, I think so-and-so sliding, right? We need to address things right now before there's a problem.
And he has such a heart for the guys, which that matters.
Yeah.
He has such a heart
That
for the
matters
community.
big time.
It's huge. It's really huge. That makes a big difference. I mean, he definitely has his moments, but of when somebody's taking advantage, of things. But for the most part, he has a big heart to help people.
How many rooms do you have in there?
It's 10 bedrooms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty big place.
So did you convert it or did you buy it as a 10-bedroom? What? I don't know what it is. A house? A
It's a
little
house.
mini?
It's a house, and my family member had originally bought it. It was just a tiny 3-bedroom, and the bedrooms were tiny. The kitchen was tiny. He decided to build onto it. He had gotten married and built onto the house, and built outside the 3 tiny rooms, and built upstairs and downstairs, and had an office for himself, an office for his wife. They had 4 kids, so they were just building a lot of rooms. And so that's kind of how that became so big. And there was a big piece of land there, and he just added on to the one that the house that was already there, and built a whole other kitchen. So there's big kitchen, big living room, and then a small living room, and then the 3 littler rooms. So there's one downstairs, kind of in the basement type of thing, and it's 2 bedrooms, and then the 2 little bedrooms upstairs from that for the old section. And then there's 2 bedrooms on the main level, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upstairs. And so then
Wow.
one of the rooms is so large because it's the master. We did separate that out. So we usually bring the DOC guys in that room first, and it's like 4 people into a room. It's a huge bathroom.
Got
Oh
it.
my God.
Bathroom. The other room is smaller, so they're not 4 people. Just that.
How many square feet is this thing?
I think it's over 3,000.
Wow.
I don't remember.
Wow.
And how many people do you have in there?
So
there's 4 in 1 bedroom.
There's 4 in 1 bedroom, and then there's three single bedrooms with single people in them, and then he has 1 room, the manager, and then there's 2. All the other rooms have 2 people. Yeah, 2 people in them.
Wow.
It's not always full. I mean, we've always got somebody's moving out, somebody to move in, that sort of thing.
Right.
But I think it comes down to just being able to really have somebody in place that wants to be, likes that community and that type of group of people, and has a heart for that. And I think that helps to make it more successful, because there are situations that come with it, with people who is sneaking drugs in, or they're drinking alcohol on the side, or they're not showing up, or guess what, the police are here because somebody threatened somebody, with something, and things go on and happen.
Right,
and so it's really about being able to really walk through that community and knowing how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really neat.
It is really neat. And little did your family member know, as they were building the house, what it was going to be.
Yeah.
What it was meant for.
Good point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the reality is, there's so many guys that do want a second chance. We had one guy who had gone to prison like 20 years before for killing somebody, actually. And good guy throughout the entire prison thing. And I didn't get the whole story of what happened. I think he was a young kid, and it was an accident or something, through him not doing things he should have been doing. He was the absolute nicest guy. And he was just this big teddy bear type of guy. And when he came, for 20 years, he was in prison for this. And when he came out, boy, he was the best tenant ever. And very respectful, very kind to everybody, helpful to everybody, always wanted to help out everybody. And so it was really, you never know what, people think, oh, they're a killer, or they're a drug addict, or this, or that. No, they got caught up in something for whatever reason. And they could, just seeing them, blossom and grow. And, he was coming out into community. He didn't have a phone, didn't know what a cell phone was. And being able to see him be able to transform in the real world and still be a good person too at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be able to have that component.
Yeah.
Involved.
So did he stay very long? Do people generally stay 6 months, a year, 5 years?
It varies. It could be like a month. It could be 3 months, because the DOC will pay their rent for 3 months. So some people will just stay until that's gone. Some people will, they just want to get out, and they really weren't serious, so they'll be gone in a month. And then you got people that love it, and they love the community, and they stay for a long time. Got some guys that have been there over 5 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But everybody wants the single room. So it's
I'm
always like,
sure.
we're in line for the single room. But it's
Doesn't
good for
go
them to
about by
have that.
seniority, right?
Well, it is kind of that way. They kind of line up, and then but it's good for them to have the double, because then there's some accountability too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Makes
really
sense.
cool. That's
Well,
Yeah.
I
a lot of
encourage
rooms.
anybody who's thinking about clean and sober. It can be kind of scary because it is a business. I mean, it's not just I'm getting a rent. It's you're running a business rental inside of a business. Even though we do the same thing with rentals, we consider that also a business. It's almost a different
Yeah.
animal because you got certain budgets and stuff within the house that you have to
Yeah.
manage and stuff like that. But it's not. Once you really dial into the system, it's really not that hard to run it.
And do you think you make what's that?
I would just say it's just getting the right people in those places. And I was going to ask you, do you have to have a license for the state, like you do?
No, I think well, business license. You need a business license for the
Okay.
house, and we did talk with the authorities before we did all of this. We had them come and inspect the house, so they knew what we were doing. We worked right along with DOC, but there is a license you can get. A lot more hoops you have to jump through, and if you do that, they're going to send more people to you. You're going to have more influx of people, just that they're going. But we've gotten so well known in the community. I don't necessarily need that. Plus,
Right.
Yeah.
the hoops are so much red tape, you can imagine, and so we haven't really gone that direction, which we don't have to. And I think every state's different, maybe. So every state has, and I know that I have some friends in Jersey, and they have 3 clean and sober houses. He's actually I met them through a different situation where they in a different mastermind for business owners for home service businesses. Because I own a restoration company, he owns a plumbing company, one of the biggest plumbing companies out there, and his wife was very involved in clean and sober. And while we were friends, he's acquired more and more. They got it down, but they also have, I think, more perks over there from their state. They bring a lot more. They actually pay a longer term. I don't know the logistics behind it, but I know it's a lot more that they've been able to get from that.
So like health insurance wise is paying, or state is paying for the tenants to stay?
It's the state over there. Here, we don't necessarily, we have some programs, but it's not through the state. I mean, I guess DOC is considered state maybe, but they only pay for a certain amount of time. And of course, then we got state insurance that we lost.
Bye-bye, Sharon.
Got kicked off again. She said, what did she say? It was like 17 degrees there. Like they're having really.
It was getting loud too. So maybe that's what we were hearing is some wind or something. She said it was being stormy.
Yeah. And they're getting snow. Yeah.
We might be live for a long time, you guys. Sharon takes care of that.
Of course, you get back on, huh?
What if she doesn't come back on? You're gonna be up all night long, Kate.
I don't know. Hello? Anybody else on here?
Can you hear me, Donna? Oh,
I do. I hear you. Okay, there's Kate.
I think Sharon's somewhere there. I don't know where yet.
It said she joined. I don't know how.
There she goes.
You're doing the disappearing act on us, Sharon.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just froze and then shut off and then came back on. So no worries.
I thought we were going to have to be on live for a long time.
All night long.
That's okay. She's going to be up all night long.
Funny.
But so Monique, do you think that you make a lot more on a house like that as it relates to the value of the house versus if you had a house of the same value that was just a regular long-term rental?
I think the problem with that kind of a house with long-term value, finding 10 people to rent a house.
No, not the same house, just the same. Like if the house is worth 500,000, take a house in the same city that's also worth 500, but maybe it's a 3-2.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
there's different types of work.
Different
type of work and different type of expenses because you're taking, I mean, the same value. You look at it's usually not as many bedrooms, So
Right.
you're renting it for to one family. That one
Yeah.
family needs to be able to afford that rent. So versus it's almost like a co-living situation. A lot of people are doing co-living to help people, but you also make or even corporate rentals, you make more money because there's more risk also. And it's kind of the same thing because we're not always full and there's always people moving out and moving in. And it's a transient, situation. And it's also about, we've had some situations where people are fighting or when you get girls in the mix, this is all guys. You get girls in the mix, a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And then when the guys want their girls there, that becomes another fight.
Issue.
Oh, she
Yeah,
was up all night walking
would
around in
have
pajamas,
single
and the
sex.
guys were looking at her, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
we have to really limit the overnight stays with the girlfriends, and so you kind of babysitting adults in a roundabout way.
Yeah. Does your house manager now take care of all of that, or do you guys have to get involved?
Once in a while, we get involved. We take care of like we're going to rebuild the porch because there's some damage to the porch. We're rebuilding that. We put another window in the basement for the guys, and we sometimes go to the meetings with the guys just to keep abreast of everything and let them know we're here for them, that sort of thing. And he needs support too, so we are a little bit involved. They have game night. Sometimes we'll all have Thanksgiving together, or we used to go to the food bank. Not the food bank. They have some churches that give food for dinner sometime. So we've gone to that. So let's all go and have dinner at the church, type of thing. And so we've done that kind of stuff. So yeah, and meeting the guys, and they appreciate that. I think that we might get involved sometimes, and the manager really appreciates having that support system.
Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a big undertaking.
You think so, and I thought so too in the beginning, but as it's panned out, it's really no different than everything else that we all do. You know what I mean? It just has different legs to it and different steps, but it's at the end of the day, just keeping something working and moving forward and keep it. You understand the process, you understand what you do, and it's kind of almost like it's not a job because I'm not there 8 hours a day type of thing, but it's kind of a part of a job.
Right.
Somebody else would have.
Do you plan to buy more?
I don't plan to buy more necessarily on my own, but I would probably do so with partners, simply because that's kind of where I'm at in life right now, and I've got a business I'm building that I'm also looking to acquire businesses for that and scaling that business. So it doesn't mean that I won't, but I would like to definitely have the right people. And our manager has indicated that he would like to have more places. So partnering with him is also
He's
another.
Getting entrepreneurial, huh?
Kind of is, yeah. Which I'm surprised because he really wasn't that much in the beginning, and he is more so now. So he would like to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe he's seen the impact and really, been inspired by it.
I think so.
Awesome.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Kate, we've all talked about what we're doing. What are you doing?
I know, right?
I'm just hanging out in the Keys and climbing coconut trees.
Coconut trees. Milligan's Island.
Yeah, no, we did. Honestly, we did. We climbed coconut trees and got some green ones and broke them open.
You did?
We did, yeah. It was pretty fun.
I saw them do that in Hawaii. It was really fun watching that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really cool to do. And they're not, I mean, I don't know why people don't get coconuts more around here, because there's so many coconut trees and the coconuts just sit there. But yeah, they're pretty easy to break open and they're so delicious. So much better than that bottled canned coconut water you drink from the stores. But
yeah, I used to bike riding around there and just go put them in my basket and
oh really?
Oh yeah, like we're just laying here. I mean, why not? Like you said, they're so yummy.
They are, yeah. And did you take a machete to them, or how did you open them?
No, Jim had a drill. He just drilled a couple holes
Oh
in them.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Nice.
The civilized way.
How did you bust them open?
Well, we didn't have a drill, so we had no choice but to crack them on rocks.
Right? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, it
Like the
worked.
Hey,
natives.
whatever works, right? Whatever works.
But you're doing
Yeah,
fix and flips, and do you have rentals? Because you
I
and
do
me were
have.
talking. Yeah.
I only have 2 rentals. The first one I bought probably 3 or 4 years. I bought it during COVID. I bought it sight unseen actually, and the person had remodeled it. It's not a fancy house, it's just very basic remodel. And just the end of the year was coming, and I really, really wanted to buy something. So I knew a realtor in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and he
Oh,
sent me this house, and I bought it. And it's worked out really well. We placed tenants right away, and the same tenants are still there. So they've been
yeah.
Oh,
fantastic.
wow.
I'm trying to get them to buy it because I'm ready to move on and do other things with the money, but I also don't want to force them out, because they've been such great tenants, and I just don't like that. I mean, I know in real estate sometimes you need to move on, and you have to do what you have to do for yourself, but I don't want to be the landlord that's just, kicking tenants out. So
Have you asked
and
if they
yeah,
want to buy it?
I did, yeah, and I considered doing like a lease option or sub two or something, but none of that makes sense in this situation. And so I just offered it again to him last week because they said at tax return time they might be able to get enough down payment to do it. So I haven't heard back, but if they don't, I'll just hang on to it. And then last year I 1099, not 1099, 1031. There's too many forms, too many
Right?
forms and numbers.
No doubt.
I 1031 from a long-term rental into a short-term rental in Florida. And let's see, I just put that up in December, and it was performing great right away. Then January was pretty slow. Didn't quite make my mortgage payment with it, but February has been fantastic, and it will make up for January. So we'll see how that goes. But it's kind of an up and down thing. I feel like it's not like it used to be in the Airbnb heyday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought about
Well,
turning that
I say
into?
What's that?
obviously it's rented because you're staying in your little
Yeah,
camper.
exactly. Yeah, I can't go back and stay there right now. Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's funny.
You're the homeless landlord again.
Yep. Which I don't mind one little bit.
No,
There are
I
so
know.
many
Like,
cool places. Oh,
Yeah.
so
So are you
so many
turning?
cool
Are you,
places
are
to
you
visit.
thinking about turning that one into co-living? Then you're saying, or
No, that's not a good house for co-living, but it'll probably be monthly, I guess, midterm rental over the summer months.
okay.
And I'll see how it performs as an Airbnb, because I think the area might perform better as a midterm rental because it's on the Space Coast, so there's a lot of uh, aerospace and tech and defense companies there. So there's a lot of professionals coming through.
Nice. Corporate
And
rental.
I'm 10.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
Nice.
And
Corporate rental. Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly. And I hate management, and so I made a little bit of an effort to find a midterm rental before I turned it over to an Airbnb manager.
Right.
And I didn't find anyone, so I just moved on. But I think there really is a good market for that if I made the effort or hired somebody to make the effort to do that.
Mm.
So we'll see.
So are you planning on buying more rentals? Are you looking just to wholesale, or what is your kind of your passion?
Yeah, right now, I'm interested in fixing and flipping. I'm getting my real estate license, so I'm going all in on fixing and flipping so that I can sell my own houses as well out here in Florida. But long term, I do want to buy and hold, but more so in the multifamily space or RV parks or something bigger projects, not single family. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and I think a lot of people start with single family and eventually transition into multifamily, but I feel like it can be done a lot faster than people think. Like the plumbing thing, it's not rocket science. You just gotta get in there and learn the ropes and do it. So that's what I plan to do, is go for that rather than getting more single families.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Well, ladies,
Wow. That's been an hour, hasn't it?
I can't believe it's already 8 o'clock. We
Went by fast.
Really sick. But yeah, that went by quick.
I know.
Nice.
I wanted to go over to, okay, so this is our 16th episode. So we are 4 months in, and I wanted to like recap what was your favorite episodes, who was the best guest, all the things, and we just started talking, and oh well, I guess nobody gets highlighted. I really like learning about investing in Portugal, but hey, that's okay.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we had so many great guests. It's so hard to.
Oh my gosh,
there's so much value, and for everybody to go back and watch the episodes, they're just so different, and you learn something from everybody.
I loved the RV park episode. That was amazing. And then every one of the lenders that we've had on that has every single time has brought something new to the table for us to learn, and I've really enjoyed all of them. So yeah.
Lots of good nuggets on each episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really is.
Here we are, top of the hour. So I have to say goodbye to you, ladies. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 See you guys next week.
See you next week. Yeah.